All right, so we're talking about an extreme teller and seller, this guy who used to sell the kitchen equipment on TV. I mean, he was tell and sell par excellence. It wasn't, I mean, some may say it was kind of schmaltzy or whatever the word is. He was really in your face, but he got millions of people to buy lots of stuff. And if you bought it and it worked, the motivation that was going to sustain your pleasure with this, your use of it, is that it worked. So that is one idea, that if we could just push people through, do what I'm asking, then you'll see. And if they see, then that's great. But how many people have purchased something on TV and they've gotten it and it hasn't worked? Or wait, but even more to the point. That's not the point. The point, what if you bought something that you don't really want to use? It's not about the outcome as much as what you want. Like, is it this gadget that you're never going to, it's a special yam peeler. I hate yams, so what I'm never going to use it. Okay. What can I say next when I want to really go off on this person or tell them what to do, or you already hear yourself selling? How do I pull myself back? Question 1. Why might you change? Every word in this first question matters. And in an interesting kind of way, it captures the entire philosophy of the brief strategic MI approach. The first word, why. We're not talking about what or how, the way. We're talking about reasons why, the will. Might. Why do I have the word might in there? That's a choice, right. So I'm not saying, why should you change? Why do you think it's important to change? That one even sounds okay, but why might you change this? How about the word you? Why is that important? Why might we emphasize that? Responsibility, yeah, right. It's their responsibility. It's focused on them, but something else too.
Well, it also gives them the power to change the situation versus it coming from an external source.
It gives them the power to change it rather than from an external source. But why is that good? Right, because personal motivations or personal motives that come from you or the person you're talking to sustains it. Okay, so why might you change is not just the first question, but it embodies the main principles. We're asking questions, we're asking why questions, and they have to be personal answers because that's what sustains change. And the might is important because in any client-centered approach, we know that freedom of choice and acknowledging that, frankly telling them repeatedly, this is up to you, is very, very motivating. So I think sometimes about the times when I'm less prepared to do this and what would get me to do it, besides my wife saying, hey, that doesn't sound like that approach that you teach, when I'm talking to one of my kids. So that's when I'm less in the work mode. I'm thinking less like this, and I'm just thinking, I want the freaking homework done. I don't care. I don't care why. So I will have to sometimes do that internal work, and it is hard, but the questions remain rather straightforward. I mean, I promise you, they're worded this way, they work. You can change it, what would be in it for you, what would you like about it, if you don't like, why. But the essence of the questions work. And when I ask one of my kids, it's up to you how you do this and when you do it. But I'm wondering, what would be better for you if you got this done before basketball practice instead of after? It's easy, because right? Do you recognize the question? I picked the behavior because I want it done before I have to drive them, so it's not a late night. But I say, it's up to you, and I say, what might be in it for you to do it beforehand? It's rather simple, but on the inside, I could just tell you by remembering this, I'm feeling it again, like, I just want it, So the internal work will be hard. It doesn't take a long time, because it only takes as long as it takes for the questions come out. And despite myself, that works. Even if sometimes it works because, Dad, we'd heard enough about your work. Let me just go do my homework. Sometimes it works that way. But, and it works Well, I'll give you another example. It works even when the client doesn't like it, because your clients will come to realize that you're doing this, and they'll want to come out of role, as you guys did. And so I had occasion recently to be invited to speak at a business group. What is it called? I won't name the group, actually. It was a business consortium in Connecticut. And they wanted me to do a speech at one of their meetings, and it was a pro bono thing, but I didn't know about that beforehand. But that's okay, because I do these all the time, but I didn't know ahead of time. It's fine. So I'm thinking, well, maybe I should let them know I do this for a living. I don't always do it for free. And so I had a polite exchange back and forth, and this person must have heard about what I would be presenting, heard from the person who referred me, maybe even read some of my material. And he said, of course, Mike, of course, we have a small budget, and it's difficult, but let me ask you this. Why might you decide to come and give the talk anyway? In an email. In an email to me. What was my first reaction? How dare you use my approach against me? I was on a train, and I got this, and I almost, like the person next to me heard, I stifled it. It came, but like that, it came like breath out of my air. And I said, how dare you do that? I was angry, and I wanted not to want to do it. But I started thinking about reasons why it would be good for me to do it pro bono. It was really, I thought, okay, well, I could get them to agree in, forgetting about the money, might they agree to really go back and apply the questions and promise to write back to me about how it went, because I don't know how it works in every type of organization, and this is a manufacturing thing. How does it work with people on the assembly line? I don't know. But I could learn. I could use that in my writing, in my book, or whatever. But the point is that I didn't want it to work. He did it correctly. I said, how dare you? But at the same moment, as pissed as I was thinking about reasons why I might do it. And I'm doing it. I'm doing it. So it will work. It will seem like it's not working, and it will be irritating people, and they'll be pulling away and avoiding, but that's when you have to keep it up, because you're hitting a nerve. And it'll work even if they're saying, oh, I know what you're doing. You're trying to make me do this. I said, have I told you to do this? Have I told you why I want you to do it? No, but you're doing that thing that makes me talk in that way, and I don't even like. But you're telling me these are your reasons. I'm still not saying you have to do it, but I'm noting these reasons. And you intentionally summarize the positive ones, the ones that they've told you in favor of doing it. But you have to be even-tempered about it, even-mannered. You can't try to be intentionally cited as you're doing the approach. They know that, broadly speaking, you want them to do X, Y, and Z because you work for this kind of agency or you have this kind of practice. But in that moment, you're saying it's up to you.